Сергія. Ні, у нас ще не всі підключились. У нас ще один опонент ще не підключився. Так, головне не хвилюватися, якщо. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, how are you?
Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, are you here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, до речі, говорить російською мовою.
А, так? Ну, не будемо. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, are you ready with your presentation?
Yes,
Yes?
I'm ready.
Okay, very good. Так що, Юрій Іванович, всі вже є чи ні?
Ні, щас.
Так, робимо перекличку. Валерія Геннадіївну бачу. Валерія Геннадіївна на місці. Так, Лариса Іванівна також на місці. Вікторія Вікторівна. Де Вікторія Вікторівна?
Тут є
Тут, на
присутні.
місці, все. Так, і Сергій Володимирович на місці. Я бачу фотографію, підключається вже.
Доброго дня, все на місці.
Доброго дня, всі на місці, все.
Добре.
Всі на місці, головне, що здобувач на місці, тоді можемо починати. Так, доброго дня, шановні колеги. Сьогодні 5 березня 2024 року, 15 година 12 хвилин. Дозвольте розпочати засідання. Відповідно до рішення вченої ради Сумського національного аграрного університету наказом ректора номер 713К від 27.12.2023 року у Сумському національному аграрному університеті утворено спеціалізовану вчену раду для прийняття до розгляду та проведення разового захисту дисертації Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ на тему механізм управління конкурентними перевагами території. Англійською «Mechanism for Managing the Competitive Advantages for Territories» на здобуття ступеню доктора філософії у галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. Склад ради. Головуючий на засіданні Ніфатова Олена Михайлівна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри маркетингу і логістики, Сумський національний аграрний університет. Рецензенти. Щербак Валерія Геннадіївна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри економіки та підприємництва імені Бруховецького, Сумський національний аграрний університет. Калачевська Лариса Іванівна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри публічного управління та адміністрування, Сумський національний аграрний університет. Офіційні опоненти. Готра Вікторія Вікторівна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри економіки і підприємництва, Державний вищий навчальний заклад, Ужгородський національний університет. Козловський Сергій Володимирович, доктор економічних наук, професор, завідувач кафедри адміністративного менеджменту та державного управління, Донецький національний університет імені Василя Стуса. Посади членів спеціалізованої вченої ради вказані на дату захисту дисертаційної роботи. Прошу зареєструватися, шановні рецензенти та опоненти. Отже, на підставі реєстраційної картки присутні 5 членів спеціалізованої вченої ради із 5 затверджених наказом ректора 713К від 27.12.2023 року. Кворум необхідний для засідання є, і ми маємо всі офіційні підстави для того, щоб розпочати наше засідання. Отже, засідання спеціалізованої вченої ради оголошую відкритим. Сьогодні у нас на порядку денному захист дисертації на здобуття ступеня доктора філософії, аспіранта кафедри маркетингу маркетингу та логістики Сумського національного аграрного університету Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ на тему «Механізм управління конкурентними перевагами територій», англійською «Mechanism for managing the competitive advantages for territories» за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. Роботу виконано у Сумському національному аграрному університеті. Науковий керівник Блюмська-Данько Ксенія Валерівна, кандидат економічних наук, доцент кафедри маркетингу і логістики. До спеціалізованої вченої ради надійшли наступні документи. Заява щодо проведення атестації здобувача, копія першої сторінки паспорта громадянина Китайської Народної Республіки, копія диплома магістра, витяг з наказу про зарахування до аспірантури, засвідченої у встановленому порядку, академічна довідка про виконання відповідної освітньо-наукової програми, висновок наукового керівника, кандидата економічних наук, доцента Блюмської-Данько Ксенії Валерівни, також висновок про наукову новизну, теоретичне та практичне значення результатів дисертації, сама дисертація в друкованому та електронному виглядах, а також відбитки копій наукових публікацій, зарахованих за темою дисертації і засвідчених у встановленому порядку. Усі документи відповідають встановленим вимогам. Дисертація до захисту подається вперше. Хто за запропонований порядок денний, прошу голосувати. Всі за, немає тих, хто утримався, і проти також немає. Пропозиція приймається. Дозвольте зачитати біографічні дані аспіранта. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, 1993 року народження, громадянин Китайської Народної Республіки, освіта вища. Закінчив у 2018 році Харківський національний університет імені Каразіна за спеціальністю економіка. Аспірантуру закінчив у 2023 році Сумський національний аграрний університет Міністерства освіти і науки України, місто Суми. Дисертацію виконано у Сумському національному аграрному університеті Міністерства освіти і науки України, місто Суми. Тема дисертації затверджена на засіданні вченої ради Сумського національного аграрного університету протоколом номер 7 від 21 листопада 2019 року. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ завершив виконання освітньо-наукової програми у 2023 році. 10 вересня 2023 року відбулася публічна презентація дисертаційного дослідження на кафедрі маркетингу та логістики за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент, де дисертацію було рекомендовано до розгляду та захисту у разовій спеціалізованій вченій раді. Основні положення та отримані наукові результати дисертаційної роботи висвітлено у 9 наукових працях, з них 4 наукові праці оприлюднено у фахових наукових виданнях, 1 розділ колективної монографії, 4 наукових праці опубліковані в інших виданнях. Всі наукові публікації відповідають вимогам пункту 8 та 9 порядку присудження ступеня доктора філософії та скасування рішення разової спеціалізованої ради закладу вищої освіти, наукової установи про присудження ступеня доктора філософії. Постанова Кабінету міністрів України від 12 січня 2022 року номер 44. Дисертація відповідає вимогам наказу МОН України номер 40 від 12.01.2017 року про затвердження вимог до оформлення дисертації та порядку присудження ступеня доктора філософії та скасування рішення разової спеціалізованої вченої ради закладу вищої освіти, наукової установи про присудження ступеня доктора філософії. Постанова Кабінету міністрів України від 12 січня 2022 року номер 44. Шановні колеги, чи є питання у членів спеціалізованої вченої ради? Питань немає. Дякую. Із здобувачем погоджено, що захист дисертації буде проводитись англійською мовою. Отже, для викладу основних результатів дослідження слово надається аспіранту Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ. To present the main result of the research, the word is given to the graduate students Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, please, can you share your screen and start your presentation?
Okay. Can you hear it? Can you
Yes.
see it?
And can hear you. Please, you can start.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear members of Specialized Academic Council. My name is Liu ЦЗЕЮЙ. The topic of my presentation is management mechanisms of competitive advantages of territories. Scientific advisor, Professor Ksenia Blumskaya-Danько. Actualization of the management of competitive advantages of territories acquires a new meaning First of all, due to the action of such global trends as globalization, the development of information technology, and the strict imperatives of the sustainable development of society. Firstly, in the context of the global trend of economic globalization, competition between territories, countries, and regions is becoming more and more intense. Territories are constantly competing for attractiveness for investment, tourism, trade, and other industries. Managing competitive advantage becomes a bigger key success factor for territories, as it allows them to attract resources, maintain and develop their advantages compared to other localities. Secondly, the development of information technology and the growth of access to information have provided consumers with more opportunities to compare and choose places for business, residence, or leisure. Territories must effectively manage their benefits, which may include infrastructure, accommodation, labor, innovation, and other aspects in order to attract and retain investors, businesses, and tourists. Thirdly, the management of the competitive advantages of territories contributes to sustainable development. This means the balanced use of resources, the preservation of the natural environment, the support of social well-being, and the development of human capital. This approach contributes to the creation of sustainable and viable areas that attract investment, able-bodied professionals, and tourists, which in turn contribute to economic growth. Therefore, the management of competitive advantages of territories is necessary at the present stage of economic development to ensure their attractiveness, sustainability, and competitiveness. This allows the territories to effectively use their potential, attract investment, remain talented people, and develop sustainable economic development. To realize the goals of mapping, consider general bibliometric indicators such as the number of publications, the most productive authors and countries, the most influential journals and articles. Figure 1 shows the distribution of 184 publications indexed in scopes related to the competitive advantages of territories for the period from 1990 to 2023. Analyzing the annual variation of the total number of papers, there is a percentage growth rate of about 24%, with a consolidated increase in publications since 2011. Over the past 10 years, more than 80% of articles have been published.
Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, I'm sorry that I interrupt you. You can't switch your slides. Please do it. You should
Oh.
switch slides, okay? Because we see just your first slide on our full screen.
Okay, I will try.
Okay, yes, please. Try again. Okay,
Can you
now
see
we
that?
see your first slide, your title slide. Try to show us the next. Yes, now we can see the next slides. Yeah.
Okay, I will
Sorry.
continue.
Yes, please.
Figure 1 shows the distribution of 184 publications indexed in scopes related to the competitive advantages of territories for the period from 1990 to 2023. Analyzing the annual variation of the total number of papers, there is a percentage growth rate of about 24%, with a consolidated increase in publications since 2011. Over the past 10 years, more than 80% of our articles have been published. Global interest in the topic of competitive advantages of territories can be investigated by analyzing publication activity by country. The countries with the larger number of publications were Italy, Spain, the United States of America, and Ukraine. China's publication activity on this topic is represented by 2 articles, which once again emphasizes the need to stimulate scientific discussion for China. This data suggests that despite the fact that the topic is popular in the international literature, the competitive advantages of territories remain understudied in China. Next, we will analyze the most relevant scientific metric publications. 184 publications were published in 163 scientific journals, the most relevant of which in this field are presented in Table 1. Among them are the Journal of Environmental Management and Tourism, the Mediterranean Journal of Social Sciences, the British Food Journal, the International Journal of Applied Business and Economic Research, and others, which stand out for their high performance. At least 3 articles on the competitive advantages of the reasons were published in these journals. Taking into account the 150 keywords most often used by the authors, Figure 3 shows the selected one, which contains the presentation of the leading research interests, which include topics related to the competitive advantages of territories. Accordingly, the cluster matrix is structured as follows. The x-axis displays the degree of relevance, from terms that appear in some publications to basic terms. Y-axis density is displayed, which refers to the internal coherence of words that make up the topic. The composition of clusters by comparison of keywords on competitive advantages of territories is presented in Table 2. The cluster that has the larger number of types is represented by the works of scientists who consider the competitive advantages of territories through infrastructure development, social capital, and regional policy. Among the main factors influencing the competitiveness of the territories, the authors note 1. Developed infrastructure, such as roads, transport links, energy systems, and the internet, which contributes to the more efficient functioning of the territory and attracting more investment. 2. Urbanization. The development of cities and megacities attracts businesses and talent, which stimulates innovation and exchange of ideas and the development of new technologies. 3. Education and research. High-quality education and research activities provide a highly educated workforce that attracts companies to create new innovative products and services. 4. Regulatory policy. Effective regulatory policies promote entrepreneurship and support the development of new businesses and industries. 5. Tourism and cultural heritage. The developed tourism sector and the presence of a unique cultural heritage attract tourists and have attracted investment in the development of the territory. Thus, our scientific mapping of the research field of competitive advantages of territories with the help of bibliometrics or package allows us to draw the following conclusions about the subject of research. The development of territories has a direct interaction with competitiveness, since ensuring competitiveness is one of the main goals of this process. The competitiveness of territories is determined by their ability to attract investment, tourists, businesses, and talented professionals compared to other reasons. Among the main aspects that determine the competitive advantages of territories, the following should be noted. 1. Infrastructure. 2. Innovation. 3. Human capital and knowledge. 4. Tourism. 5. Branding of territories. 6. Sustainable development. 7. Industry clusters. The retrospective analysis of China's region policy has shown that the historical development of the regions has been accompanied by a constant shift of emphasis in China's regional policy. With the transition from central planning to a mixed system of indicative planning and economic forecasting, regional policy has undergone significant changes. It is obvious these changes have contributed to accelerating the formation of economic complexes and strengthening the market functions of the Chinese economy. Thus, taking into account the territorial differentiation, China at the present stage can be divided into 3 zones: Eastern, Central, and Western. Economically, the Eastern Zone is considered the most developed, covering 8 coastal provinces and all cities of central subordination: Shanghai, Beijing, and Tianjin. The specialization of the zone is determined by knowledge, intensive and export-oriented industries. Their development is closely related to the formation of special economic zones and the attraction of foreign investment. The Central Zone has significant mineral resources and specializes in agriculture, mining, electricity, metallurgy, and the chemical industry. The Western Zone, which covers 70% of the territory and 28% of the country's population, includes large areas of undeveloped land and has a low population density, significant energy, and resource potential. Analysis of statistical data for 2022 by the triangle of industry, primary industry, tertiary industry, secondary industry, tertiary industry, and gross regional product per capita showed the uneven distribution of the contribution of reasons to the country's GDP and a significant discrepancy between the gross regional product per capita by region. Primary industry includes activities related to the extraction of natural resources and agriculture. In China, primary industries include agriculture, forestry, fisheries, mining, and energy sector, such as coal and oil extraction. Secondary industries include industry, the production of goods with enrichment, and the processing of raw materials that were obtained in primary industries. In China, secondary industries include steel production, machinery, textiles, chemical and electronic industry, etc. Tertiary industry includes services provided to the public and other sectors of the economy. It covers trade, transportation, financial services, education, healthcare, tourism, hospitality, information technology, communication services, etc. Thus, the regions with the highest per capita gross regional product in 2022 were Beijing and Shanghai. The size of this indicator of these regions is almost 4.0 times higher than in the Gansu and Heilongjiang districts, which have the lowest level of gross regional product among all the analyzed regions of China. The regions with the highest contribution to the industry are Jiangsu and Guangdong, which provide 22.8% secondary industry and 21.2% tertiary industry for the whole of China. For primary industry, the region with the highest rate was Shandong. The data in Figure 5 shows that the Guangdong region is the leader in terms of the number of working population. At the same time, the regions with the highest indicators in terms of gross regional product, Beijing and Shanghai, on the contrary, are characterized by low values in terms of the labor population. According to the Global Innovation Index, definition in regional labor productivity in some countries reaches excessively high levels. China is no exception in this context. The Gansu region lags behind the average of this indicator in China as a whole in terms of labor productivity. Only Mexico has a larger gap between regions among the countries analyzed. So the development of scientific and technological clusters in China, on the one hand, forms innovation centers and contributes to the development of some regions. For example, Shanghai with the highest level of gross regional product per capita, and on the other hand, leads to an even greater increase in regional discrimination. An analysis of the average number of enrollments per 100,000 population by region in 2021 showed that the Beijing region has the highest enrollment rate in tertiary education, while having the lowest enrollment rate in junior secondary education and upper secondary education. The Qinghai region has the lowest coverage of higher education. Its rate is almost 4 times lower than the Beijing region. The Guangxi region has the highest enrollment in preschool education and upper secondary education, while the Heilongjiang region has undercoverage in early childhood education. The Xinjiang region has the highest rate of enrollment in junior secondary education. Thus, in general, there is a certain unevenness of coverage among different levels of education in China. On the basis of the study, we substantiated the sequence of stages of classing of results of China, according to the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages, which involves the development of economically justified tools using factor analysis to form a system of indicators that comprehensively characterize groups of competitive advantages of technological, innovative, educational, intellectual, economic infrastructure, tourist cultural types. The obtained values of factor laws became the basis for determining the most important indicators for the formation of regional competitiveness. A methodic approach to classing of regions of China, according to a degree of manifestation of competitive advantages, is proposed, which is based on the allocation of technological, innovative, educational, intellectual, economic, infrastructure, and tourist cultural competitive advantages. Such a methodic approach makes it possible to assess territories not only from the side of administrative division. It identifies specific territories that may have similar marketing management strategies in order to achieve a high degree of competitive advantage and affects the competitiveness of the region as a whole. A model of dependence of the gross regional product on the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages of territories has been built, which is based on the definition of the most influential indicators of groups of competitive advantages. According to the results of the modeling, the most influential indicators are according to the group of competitive advantages, technologically innovative, TI2, number of patent applications, TI5, projects for new products development, TI6, sales revenue of new products. But the group of competitive advantages, educational and intellectual, IE1, average education enrollment per 100,000 population secondary education, and IE6, number of higher education institutions. But the group of competitive advantages, economic and infrastructure, EI2, quality of products by region. But the group of competitive advantages, tourist and culture, TC2, number of public museums, and TC5, number of cooperative enterprises. The model of dependence of the gross regional product on the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages of territories, proposed in Figure 8, allows predicting the value of the gross regional product per capita of a certain region of China based on the values of the most influential indicators by groups of competitive advantages. Figure 9 proposes a mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories, which is based on the classing of regions by groups of competitive advantages, technological innovative, educational intellectual, economic infrastructure, and tourism culture. This mechanism can be used to identify potential competitive advantages, explore innovative opportunities, and develop development strategies. This approach will help regional authorities and stakeholders better understand their reasons and contribute to the effective management of their development. Thank you for your attention.
Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, thank you for your presentation. And now, dear colleagues, it is a time to ask questions. If you have questions, please ask. Suggest start from Valeria Геннадьевна Щербак.
I have two questions, and the first question is, in your work, you talk about disparities in regional development. Do they have an impact on the economic situation in the country total? Please answer.
Thank you for your question, dear professor. Disparities in regional development have a significant impact on economic development. The disproportions of the regional development of the People's Republic of China as a factor influencing the formation of competitive advantages of territories are investigated in the dissertation. A study of the difference in levels of economic development in the dissertation. A study of the difference in levels of economic development between regions of China identified the areas with significant potential for growth and identified the constraints for less developed regions. The investment attractiveness and development of certain industrial sectors are influenced by the development of infrastructure and access to resources. The level of education, qualifications, and human resources of different regions forms different potential for territories in attracting talented workforce and developing knowledge of the established industries. The level of innovation, research, and development in different regions forms competitive advantages for those territories that have advantages in the introduction of new technologies and the creation of innovative products. The geographical location of the regions determines the territories that have easier access to key markets and international trade routes, which accordingly creates competitive advantages for such territories. Thank you.
Thank you. I also have a second question. In your presentation, you showed that the result of your scientific activity is clusters. Describe what makes them peculiar, please.
Thank you for your question, dear professor. The proposed clustering consists in grouping the regions of China primarily by the degree of manifestation of their competitive advantages by technological, innovative, educational, intellectual, economic infrastructure, tourist culture groups. Such a methodic approach makes it possible to assess territories not only from the side of administrative division. It identifies specific territories that may have similar marketing management strategies in order to achieve a high level of manifestation of competitive advantages and impact on the competitiveness of the region as a whole. Management of competitive advantages of regions, taking into account the cluster approach, allows not only a more complete and specific assessment of the current situation, but also the effective use of resources necessary for harmonious development. The use of the cluster approach in the coordination of the activities of territories will create a high-quality competitive territorial brand that will have positive consequences in the social, economic, and other spheres of society. Thank you.
Thank you. I am satisfaction.
Okay, thank you, Valeria Геннадьевна. The next member of our council, Kalachevska Larissa Ivanivna. Larissa Ivanivna, do you have any questions for our graduate student?
Yes, certainly. Thank you for this possibility to give some questions. Dear Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting for me to hear your scientific results, and I have two additional questions. The first one, what is the essence of the map in the research field of competitive advantages of territorial development, which is proposed in your study? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, dear professor. Our scientific mapping of the research field of competitive advantages of territories with the help of a bibliometrics package allows us to draw the following conclusions about the subject of research. The development of territories has a direct interaction with competitiveness, since ensuring competitiveness is one of the main goals of this process. The competitiveness of the territories is determined by their ability to attract investment, tourists, businesses, and talented professionals compared to other regions. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second one is, in your work, you use the indicator of total investment. What is this indicator and what it is used for? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, dear professor. The total investment indicator refers to the volume of activities for the construction and acquisition of fixed assets and the related fees expressed in monetary terms during the reporting period. It is a comprehensive indicator that shows the size, structure, and the growth of investment in fixed assets, creating a basis for monitoring the progress of investment in fixed assets, construction projects, and evaluating investment results. Total fixed asset investments in China include investments by type of ownership, investments of state units, collective ownership units, joint ownership units, shareholders, private units, individuals, as well as investments of entrepreneurs from Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan, foreign investors, and others. Thank you.
Thank you. I am satisfied with your answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Larissa Ivanna. Thank you very much for your interest in the deep questions. And now, Victoria Viktorovna, would you like to ask some question? Our graduate.
Yes, please. I have also two questions. First of all, dear Lü, tell me, please, is there a relationship between the competitive advantages of the territory and the gross regional product?
Thank you for your question, dear professor. A model of dependence of the gross regional product on the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages of territories has been built, which is based on the definition of the most influential indicators of groups of competitive advantages. According to results of the modeling, the most influential indicators are according to the group of competitive advantages technologically innovative, TI2, number of patent applications, TI5, projects for new products development, TI6, sales revenue of new products, but group of competitive advantages, educational and intellectual, i.e. 1, average education enrollment per 100,000 population secondary education, and i.e. 6, number of higher education institutions, but group of competitive advantages, economic and infrastructure, EI2, quality of products by region, according to the group of competitive advantages, tourist and cultural, TC2, number of public museums, and TC5, number of cooperative enterprises. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have one more question about the mechanism you have developed. How does the shading function manifest itself in it?
Thank you for your question, dear professor. The planning function in the context of competitive advantage management is implemented through the definition of the strategic goals and the objectives for the development of competitive advantages of the region and the development of specific action plans and initiatives to achieve the set goals. The planning function is key to the development of the competitive advantages of territories, as it helps to structure and coordinate the processes to achieve strategic goals and strengthen positions. Planning begins with defining the goal of developing competitive advantage. Structural directions are identified that will help ensure sustainable competitive advantages in the territory. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm fully satisfied.
Thank you very much, Victoria Viktorovna, for your questions, and thank you, Lu ЦЗЕЮЙ, for your answers. And Sergey Volodymyrovich, you also have possibility to ask questions if you want.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, I also have two questions. First off, would you please explain what arguments explain the relevance of the formation of mechanisms for management the competitive advantages of territories?
Thank you for your question, dear professor. The relevance of the formation of a mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories is explained by the following arguments. Growing global competition. In today's world, there is increasing competition between different regions at the international level. Rapid changes in technology, the development and the implementation of new technologies can suddenly change the way we produce and consume. Increasing mobility, people, capital, and ideas are becoming increasingly mobile, improving the quality of life, job creation, fostering innovation, and others. Thank you.
And next, my questions. What do you attribute to the education and intellectual factors of the competitiveness of territories?
Thank you for your question, dear professor. The group of factors includes 1. Development of educational programs aimed at the development of technological and innovative skills among young people and professionals. 2. Formation of an innovative culture through the creation of a favorable environment for risk perception, creativity, and innovation in all spheres of life. 3. Using digital technologies such as artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, and others to develop new products and services. 4. Development of STEM education. 5. Use of modern technologies and interactive teaching methods to attract students and stimulate their intellectual development. 6. Development of language competencies. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad with these answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sergey Volodymyrovich. І Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, the last two questions from me. The first one, what method do you use to assess the dependence of the gross regional product on the degree of manifestation of the competitive advantages of territories?
Thank you for your question, dear Professor. The use of correlation and regression analysis allows us to qualify the density and the direction of the relationship, as well as to determine the analytical dependence of the result on specific factors. Such an assessment of the density of the relationship between factors and the result makes it possible to determine the most important indicators, influence the endogenous variable, in order to determine the most important indicators for groups of competitive advantages of territories that affect the formation of GRP per capita. A correlation and regression analysis was carried out separately for each group of competitive advantages. Thank you.
Thank you. And my next question, what is the proposed sequence of the stages of clustering regions of China according to the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages?
Thank you for your question, dear Professor. The proposed sequence of stages of classing of regions of China according to the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages provides for the development of economically justified tools in order to form a matrix of classing of regions of China's regions according to the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages, the use of which will allow to divide the regions of China into appropriate groups and propose strategies for the coordinated development of the formed groups of regions based on the established basic competitive advantages. To this end, we proposed to use factor analysis to rank informative features of the division of China's regions, cluster analysis method for division into clusters, matrix method to identify alternative way in the structural development of the optimal regional clusters. The sequence of stages of classing of China's regions in terms of the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages is presented. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree with you. It was a very interesting idea to use the cluster analysis for create the different strategies for different regions. I agree with you. Okay, move on. No more questions. No more questions, thanks. I think it's enough. And now let me, Eki and Zeus, present with the conclusion about the scientific novelty, theoretical and practical significance of the result of the dissertation. And now I switch on Ukrainian language. Шановні колеги, висновок про наукову новизну я буду озвучувати українською мовою за вимогами. Отже, у висновку про наукову новизну, теоретичне та практичне значення результатів досліджень вказано, що тема є актуальною. Також наведено зв'язок роботи з науковими програмами, планами, темами. Зазначено, що дисертацію виконано відповідно до напрямів науково-дослідної роботи кафедри маркетингу та логістики Сумського національного аграрного університету за темою управління конкурентоспроможністю підприємств на засадах інноваційного маркетингу. Також зазначено, що мета дослідження полягає в обґрунтуванні та розробці теоретичних засад, методичних положень та прикладних рекомендацій щодо формування механізмів управління конкурентними перевагами територій. Також наводяться найважливіші наукові результати, які складають наукову новизну дисертації, серед яких найвагомішими є це наукове картографування дослідницького поля конкурентних переваг територій за допомогою бібліометриксу, також подальший розвиток дослідження диспропорцій регіонального розвитку Китаю, обґрунтування методичного підходу кластеризації регіонів Китаю за ступенем прояву конкурентних переваг, методичний підхід до кластеризації регіонів Китаю за ступенем Вибачаю, також модель залежності валового регіонального продукту від ступеня прояву конкурентних переваг території, яка дозволяє спрогнозувати значення валового регіонального продукту на душу населення певного регіону Китаю. Також у висновку зазначається особиста участь автора в одержанні наукових та практичних результатів, підтверджено дотримання здобувачем принципів академічної доброчесності, зазначено про перелік публікацій за темою дисертації, також сказано, що структура та обсяг дисертації та мова і стиль дисертації відповідають всім встановленим вимогам. Зазначено ступінь зрілості аспіранта і переходжу до загального висновку. Вважати, що дисертаційна робота Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ на тему механізму управління конкурентними перевагами територій, англійською механізм for managing the competitive advantages of territories, яка подана на здобуття ступеня доктора філософії за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент, за своїм науковим рівнем та практичною цінністю повністю відповідає вимогам пункту 6 постанови Кабінету міністрів України про затвердження порядку присудження ступеня доктора філософії та скасування рішення разової спеціалізованої ради закладу вищої освіти наукової установи про присудження ступеня доктора філософії від 12.01.22 року номер 44 та вимогам до оформлення дисертації з затвердженим наказом МОН України від 12.01.17 року номер 40, а також відповідає напрямку наукового дослідження освітньо-наукової програми СНАУ зі спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. І зазначено рекомендувати дисертаційну роботу, подану на здобуття ступеня доктора філософії до захисту та створити разово спеціалізовану вчену раду у складі, який сьогодні і представлений. Підписано головою засідання завідувачем кафедри маркетингу та логістики, доктор економічних наук, професор Наталя Макаренко, а також секретар засідання Валентина Муштай. Так, шановні колеги, розпочинаємо обговорення дисертаційної роботи Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, we begin the discussion of the dissertation work, your dissertation work. And now I would like to invite our first reviewer, Валерія Геннадіївна Щербак, Doctor of Economic Science, Professor of the Department of Economic and Entrepreneurship, named after Brюховецький, Sumy National Agrarian University. Валерія Геннадіївна, you have opportunity to read your review, please.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you for the opportunity to participate in the discussion. As expert, I submitted my review to the Dissertation Defense Council in the timely manner, and so I want to focus only on the main key points. First of all, the dissertation of mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories by Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ is highly relevant in today's dynamic global economic landscape, where territories firstly compete for investments, talent, and businesses amidst increasing globalization and inconsistency. This research is circle for understanding how to enhance and sustain competitive advantages, fostering innovation and creating resilient strategies to negative global crises and technological shifts, thereby ensuring the long-term economic prosperity and adaptability to sustainable development trends. This dissertation research has been conducted in Academics with the thematic focus of the scientific research carried out the Department of Marketing and Logistics at Sumy National Agrarian University, specialty in topic management of enterprise competitiveness based on innovative marketing principles. While evaluating the dissertation positively, it is necessary to note certain points of discussion. First of all, in the paragraph 1.3 dissertation, the author emphasizes that advanced infrastructure, including transportation, energy systems, and information technologies, ensure the effective operation of enterprises and provides comfortable living condition for residents. Consequently, such infrastructure attracts investors and contributes to the increased competitiveness of the territories. The study would significantly benefit if the author provided examples of successful implementation of efficient infrastructure for the attracting investments and development and compared it with enterprises in Ukraine and China also. The second one is this dissertation should have delved more into detailing how industry clusters can contribute to the development of competitive advantages for territories and emphasized the importance of considering the specificities of industries for their successful formation. Additionally, it would have been valuable to justify how universities and research institutions participate the cluster academics. The third one, in the context of the ongoing administrative territorial reform in Ukraine, it would be expedited to conduct the competitive analysis to ascertain whether specific feature of regional development pivotal for territorial competitiveness in China can be identified and applied to Ukrainian territorial communities. The fourth one, on figure number 3.5 in the dissertation, the author introduced the mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories. However, it is not entirely clear how the author accesses the necessary of a multi-level approach and integration of efforts at various levels, from individual companies to overall economy of the country, to the successfully ensure the competitiveness of territories. The fifth one, based on the results of the correlation regression analysis, it is not entirely clear how the indicators number of patent applications, projects of new products development, and sales revenue of new products influence the GPD per capita in the technology innovative group of competitive advantages. what specific factors and mechanisms of interaction among these indicators contribute to the informativeness and inclusion in the group of the most influential indicator. However, these comments don't lessen the overall high assessment of the research conducted by Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ. After carefully reviewing the dissertation and scientific publications, it's important to know his scientific material and ability to conduct independent research at a high scientific level. The reviewed dissertation is completed independently conducting scientific work characterized by variety and scientific, theoretical and applied value. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ dissertation on the topic mechanisms for managing the competitive advantages of territories aligns completely with the specialty 073 management and meets the requirements outlined in point 3.6 of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine resolution on providing the produce for advantage the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and concerning the decision of one-time specialized academic council of a higher education institution, scientific institution, on awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy dating January 12, 2022, number 44, and the requirements of the preparation of direction approach to the order to the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine, dating January 12, 2017, number 14. Therefore, the dissertation can be recommended for the consideration of the meeting on the one-time specialized academic council, and it's also Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ for the award of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 073 management. Thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Valeria Gennadievna, for your review. And Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, you are given the opportunity to respond to comments.
First of all, I would like to thank the esteemed Professor Valeria Strabach for the time spent on familiarizing ourselves with our dissertation and participation into this meeting. Constructive criticism, reasonable comments, and advice. We agree with most of your comments and will definitely take them into account in the scientific work. And I would like to comment on some of them. Industry clusters contribute to the competitive advantages of territories through several mechanisms. Collaborative infrastructure industry clusters allows businesses to use shared infrastructure and resources, which reduces costs and increases production efficiency. Innovation and research. Collaboration between enterprises, universities, and research institutions in a cluster facilitates the exchange of ideas and technologies, which contributed to the creation of innovations. Universities and research institutions can participate in cluster associations for the purpose of joint scientific and initiative activities. This includes collaborating in the development of new technologies, sharing knowledge and experts, and fostering interactions between universities and industry to jointly solve problems and create innovation. Universities' participation in clusters can also contribute to the training of qualified personnel and support for educational programs aimed at the needs of peculiar industry. We agree with the other observations. This presence will significantly improve the results of our further research. Once again, we assure the esteemed professor of our high respect and gratitude. Thanks.
Thank you, Valeria Ignatьевна. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very
Very
much.
good. Very good. And now I would like to ask Kalachevska Larisa, Doctor of Economic Science, Professor of the Department of Public Management and Administration, Sumy National Agrarian University. Please, Kalachevska Larisa, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Olena Mikhailivna. I studied the dissertation of Lю ЦЗЕЮЙ, and my review is presented on the website of PhD department of SNAU. So I would like just to focus on some important, from my point of view, issues. I would like to note that managing competitive advantages becomes a strategic tool to ensure sustainable economic growth and influence in the geopolitical arena. In particular, the integration of innovations and technologies into territorial management contributes to the creation of highly productive and competitive sectors of the economy. Additionally, socio-cultural development becomes an integral part of the strategy, ensuring the stable social environment and an interactive image of community development. From these perspectives, Lю ЦЗЕЮЙ dissertation on mechanism of managing territorial competitive advantages dedicates to investigating this issue is pertinent and timely. The scientific and practical significance of the dissertation is beyond doubt. The research results, conclusions, and recommendations can be implemented in the practice of both governmental institutions and organizations engaged in the management of regional competitiveness. Furthermore, they can be applied by enterprises, firms, and organizations of various ownership forms. Regarding the dissertation research topic, one chapter has been published in the collective monograph and 4 articles in specialized scientific publications in Ukraine. Abstracts based on the dissertation materials have been published in the conference proceedings. It were 4 publications providing adequate validation of the research results. The scientific publications effectively communicate to content of the obtained scientific results and the dissertation work. While evaluating the dissertation positively, I find it necessary to point out certain points of discussion. The first one, analyzing literature sources on the state of development of the specified scientific problem, it would be advisable to devote more attention in section 1.2 to the scientific works of domestic economists. In recent years, Ukraine has implemented administrative and territorial reform, and resulting in a considerable body of methodical and scientific works regarding the competitiveness of the formed territorial units. Second, considering that the People's Republic of China is one of the largest countries in the world, accordingly, the distance between provinces is significant. It would be prudent in chapter 2 to more thoroughly investigate how the presence of effective infrastructure influences the ability of territories to provide competitive advantages. Third one, in the research, the author focuses on the functioning of regions as key players in shaping competitive advantages in their development. However, it would be relevant to explain how the interaction of citizens, businesses, and authorities can contribute to the development of territorial competitive advantages. Fourth one. In Chapter 3, the author proposes a mechanism of managing territorial competitive advantages based on the clustering of regions into groups of competitive advantages. However, it would be worthwhile to more thoroughly analyze whether the cultural heritage and tourism can define the competitive advantages of territories and how the management of these areas can influence this process. And the last one, in our opinion, the work does not sufficiently address territorial policies for risk prevention. Considering global events in recent years, it would be essential to consider the challenges that may arise in the development of implementation of strategies for managing territorial competitive advantages. However, the issues do not diminish the overall high evaluation of the research conducted by Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ. Rather, they provide a basis for further scientific inquiry. Upon a detailed examination of the dissertation and scientific publications by Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, it is noteworthy to acknowledge the researcher's scientific maturity and ability to conduct independent research at a high scientific level. The reviewed dissertation is a comprehensive, independently executed scientific work characterized by integrity and significant theoretical and applied value. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ dissertation on the topic mechanism of managing territorial competitive advantages fully aligns with the specialty 073 management as per the requirements outlined in Section 6 of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine resolution on approval of the procedure for awarding the Doctor of Philosophy degree and repealing the decision of the one-time specialized academic council of the higher education institutions, research institution on awarding the Doctor of Philosophy degree dated January 12, 2022, number 44, and the requirements of the preparation of the dissertation approved by the order of the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine dated January 12, 2017, number 40. Consequently, the dissertation work can be recommended for consideration at the meeting of the one-time specialized academic council, and it's also Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ for the award of the Doctor of Philosophy degree in the specialty 073 management. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Larissa Ivanivna. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, you are given the opportunity to answer on the comments.
First of all, I would like to thank the esteemed Professor Larissa Klashevska for the time spent on familiarizing ourselves with our dedication and participation in today's meeting. Constructive criticism, reasonable comments, and advice. We agree with most of your comments and will definitely take them into account in our scientific work, and I would like to comment on one of them. The interaction of citizens, business, and the government is a key element in creating territorial competitive advantages. Citizens having the opportunity to express their needs and ideas contribute to the formation of an effective government that can create favorable conditions for business development. Interaction with business representative allows you to take into account their needs and stimulate investment. Joint initiatives of citizens, business, and the government contribute to the creation of innovative projects, infrastructure development, and the improvement of the quality of life, which together form territorial competitive advantages. We agree with the other comments. Their presence will significantly improve the results of our further research. Once again, we assure the esteemed Professor Larissa Klashevska our high speed, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Larissa Ivановna, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, thank you. I am fully satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I would like to invite an official opponent to speak. Gotre Victoria, Doctor of Economics, Professor of the Department of the Economics and Entrepreneurship, State Higher Educational Institution, Uzhgorod National University. Victoria,
Thank you.
you are welcome.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for the invitation to be an official opponent for such interesting and useful dissertation. And my review as an official opponent was prepared according to the all requirements, sent on time and published on the university website. So I will focus only on relevance, key aspects, and debatable provisions. The relevance of the chosen topic of the dissertation on mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories is based on several key aspects. First, in today's world, competition between regions and territories has grown to a level never seen before. Changes in global economy, trade, technology pose unique challenges and opportunities to each region. Understanding and optimizing the mechanism of managing competitive advantages is becoming a vital task for the effective development of territories in these new conditions. Secondly, the study of this topic will allow to identify and systematize the main factors that affect the competitiveness of territories, their strengths and their weaknesses. The acquired knowledge can serve as a basis for the development of management strategies aimed at increasing the competitiveness of regions. It is also important to disclose the interaction of various aspects of management, such as economic, socio-cultural, environmental, and many others, which will allow considering territories as complex system and considering all important factors. This approach is critical for sustainable development strategies, ensuring that it meets the needs of modern society. Thus, the study of mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories is of great importance in the context of modern challenges and opportunities of global economic and socio-cultural dynamics. The results of this dissertation will not only deepen the understanding of the processes that affect the competitiveness of regions, but it also provide practical recommendations for effective management and development of territories in the dimensions of the modern world. Positively assessing the dissertation work, I consider to appropriate to note some provisions that are debatable. First of all, considering the presental theoretical concepts of competitive advantages of territories, para 1.2, the question arises regarding the specification of the mechanism of interaction between different aspects of development. How can infrastructure solution affect ecosystem sustainability and social comfort? How can innovation be implemented in specific territorial settings to maximize their impacts on competitiveness? And how can the interaction between tourism and other aspects of development take place to ensure an integrated approach to the attractiveness of these territories? Second, considering the economic disparities between regions, it is important to determine the optimal approach to stimulating the development of less developed territories without compromising their unique potential and characteristics. What are the possible consequences of economic imbalance between China's region on the investment and development between less and more developed territories be ensured given their unique characteristics? Third, in our opinion, discussing possible strategies and their impact on the development of regions that do not have as many resources as high developed areas will be key to China's balance and sustainable development. Needs to be specified that possible strategies for the development of education and innovation can be applied to reduce the disparity in human resources and stimulate the competitiveness of less developed regions of China, considering geographical solution and many other factors. Next, discussion of criteria and indicators in the context of factor analysis is important to determining the most important aspects of regional competitiveness and developing reasonable tools for their classification. However, the author doesn't consider what value of factors laws are key in determining the most important indicators of the formation of regional competitiveness. And the last one, in our opinion, consideration of the methodical approach to clustering regions of China can cause a discussion of the effectiveness and feasibility of certain types of competitive advantages, as well as possible challenges and advantages for regional development within certain categories. And general conclusion and evaluation of the dissertation. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ's dissertation on the mechanism for managing and competitive advantages of territories is a completed scientific work performed at the appropriate theoretical level. The structure and the scope of the dissertation meets the established standards. The style of the dissertation research is scientific in nature. Analysis of the content of the dissertation, abstract scientific publication, allows us to conclude that all points of scientific novelty and property reflected is in work. The results obtained by the dissertation are sustained to have scientific and practical significance. They will contribute to the activation of the mechanism for managing the competitive advantages of territories. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ's dissertation corresponds to the field of knowledge 07 management and administration and specialty 073 management, and its author Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, according to the results of the public defense, deserves to be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 073 management. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria Viktorovna. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, as usual, you have opportunity to respond to comments that have been posted.
First of all, I would like to thank the esteemed Professor Victoria Koshra for the time spent on familiarizing with our dissertation and participation into this meeting, constructive criticism, reasonable comments, and advice. We agree with most of your comments and will definitely take them into account in our scientific work, and I would like to comment on some of them. Economic imbalances between China's regions can lead to inequality in the country's level of development and competitiveness. Less developed areas may experience socioeconomic hardships, including high employment and inadequate infrastructure. This could lead to the economic resignation of these regions and ultimately to a threat to the sustainability of the inter-country. To ensure a more equitable distribution of investment and development, it is important to consider the unique characteristics of each region, promote region development according to its potential, and implement strategies aimed at reducing economic inequalities. This approach will stimulate the uniform development of the regions and ensure the overall competitiveness of the country. To reduce the disparity in human resources and stimulate the competitiveness of China's less developed regions, a set of strategies in the fields of education and innovation can be applied. First, it is important to develop education programs aimed at developing key skills and professions that meet the needs of specific regions. In addition, the stimulation of innovation can be achieved through the support of science and technology centers in less developed areas, which contribute to the development of new technologies and entrepreneurship. It is important to take into account the geographical location and the specifics of each region when developing and implementing strategies in order to maximize its potential and promote uniform development. We agree with the other remarks. Their presence will significantly improve the results of our further research. Once again, we assure the esteemed Professor Victoria Koshler of our highest respect and gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Victoria Victorina, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, fully. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to invite an official opponent, Kozlovsky Serhiy Volodymyrovich, Doctor of Economic Science, Professor, Head of the Department of Administrative Management and Public Administration, Vasil Stus, Donetsk National University. You are welcome.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, my official opponent review is presented in the material of this event. With the permission of the Chair Olena Mikhailivna, I will dwell on the relevance, controversial issue, and conclusions.
Yes, of course.
In the global context of the modern world, new challenges and opportunities arise associated with the competition of territories for competitiveness. In this context, the study of management mechanism competitive advantages of territories are of particular importance. This study is aimed at revealing the key aspect of good governance, taking into account and specific features of the China context. A deep understanding of this mechanism will allow us to identify optimal strategies and tools that will contribute to the stable and sustainable development of territories in the modern world. This dissertation mechanism for management the competitive advantages of territories aimed at disclosing the complex characteristic of the quality management system acquires special importance and actualizations. At the same time, the theoretical understanding of the system of management of territories in order to assure the proper level of competitiveness is critically important for the formations of adequate answers regarding the prospects for sustainable development. Therefore, Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ dissertations is of significant scientific importance. The scientific postulates and recommendations given in the dissertation's research have a higher degree of validity and evidence base. A comprehensive approach to the systematic organizations and contents of the dissertation's research made it possible to effectively implement the defined task within the framework of the set goals. The authors conducted research reported that mapping of the research field of competitive advantages of territories with the help of bibliometrics package was carried out, which made it possible to establish that the development of territories has direct interactions with competitiveness science. Ensuring competitiveness is one of the main goals of this process. Accordingly, the competitiveness of territories is determined by the ability to attract investment, tourism, enterprises, and talent-specific specialists compared to the regions. The after obtained and other scientific results. Positively, significant the scientific and applied signification of the result obtained by the author, it is necessary to point out certain database provisions with included. First, in the general agreement with the scientific proposal proposed by the author for the territories of the People's Republic of China, I would like to see in the work that opportunities and challenges arise in managing the competitive advantages of territories, in particular in the context of attracting investment, tourism, enterprises, and talent, especially during hostels on the territory of Ukraine. Next, revealing the methodical approach to clustering the regions of China according to the degree of manifestation of competitive advantage, it would be appropriate to dwell in more detail on how the model of defense of the gross regional product on the degree of manifest of competitive advantage of territories can contribute to forecasting the development of the certain region of China and what aspects are taken into account in this model. Next, considering the peculiarities of the scientific argument for the creation of an effective and functional study on China's regional development imbalances, it would be advisable to analyze more deeply what are the main conclusions can be draft about the effectiveness and functionality of the study of regional development imbalances in China, and why this study is important for the future development of the country's economic and social sphere. Noteworthy is after studies on the assessment of cooperation between Ukraine and China in the context of development of international relation One Belt, One Road, understanding that the war in Ukraine and military aggression since February 24 were not taken into account when constructing worst-case data, it would be necessary to distribute the economic conditions under which the development scenarios are possible. At the same time, the above remarks and shortcomings generally do not affect the positive impression of dissertation and do not reduce the scientific and practical value of dissertation for Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ. Based on the acquaintance with the context of the dissertation, annotation, and scientific publications of Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, it can be concluded that the dissertation on the topic mechanism of management, the competitive advantages of territories in terms of context and structure, is complete, logically constructed, independent. The content of the dissertation corresponds to the defined goals as the set scientific task. The provisions and results of the dissertation report are published in scientific domestic and foreign publication, tested and scientific and practical conferences. In the dissertation, new scientifically grounded results were obtained. We together perform a specific scientific task that is essential for the specialty management. The dissertation on the topic management for the mechanism for the management the competitive advantage of territory corresponding to specialty management, the requirements of the procedure for training application for higher education with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Science in the higher education institutions, and the author himself, Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, deserves to be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the field of knowledge 07 Management and Administration in the specialty 07-3 Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Сергій Володимирович. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, would you like to give some comments?
I would like to thank the esteemed professor for the time spent on reviewing our dissertation and the participation in today's meeting. Construct a criticism, reasonable comments, and advice. We agree with most of your comments and will definitely take them into account in our scientific work. And I would like to comment on some of them. Managing the competitive advantages of territories in the conditions of hostilities on the territory of Ukraine includes numerous opportunities and challenges. One opportunity is the emphasis on maintaining resilience, and rebuilding infrastructure to provide vital services and attract investment. It is also important to actively communicate abroad to reduce the impact of negative images. However, challenges include the need for effective risk management, adaptation to economic and social difficulties, and maintaining a business environment to attract investors. Attracting tourists may require improving society and creating a positive impression of the area. In addition, attracting talented professionals may require the development of educational and scientific initiatives, as well as the creation of conditions for a comfortable life and work. Overall success will lie in a balanced approach that combines measures to restore and strengthen the economy and society with effective marketing and communications to create a positive impression of the territory. We agree with the other remarks. Their presence will significantly improve the results of our further research. Once again, we ensure Professor Sergey of our highest respect and gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Сергій Володимирович. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Satisfied that answer. Satisfied. Okay.
Very, very good. And move on, dear colleagues, according to the rules of work of the Specialized Academic Council, we propose to the discussion of the dissertation of Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ. I emphasize that all present members of the Academic Council have the right to take part in this discussion. Therefore, I ask those who want to speak out about this work. And I propose not to change the order, and I want to give the floor the first Щербак Валерія Ігнатівна.
Thank you very much for this possibility to take part in this very interesting discussion. I have so many articles about this team. This is for me a very interesting team, and also I have say only 2 words about the level of our postgraduate student Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ. First of all, I have to say Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ demonstrated a high level of theoretical experience in understanding the conceptual foundation of managing organizational and economic principles of construction mechanisms for the managing territorial competitive advantages. And also I have to say only one for my mining very interesting topic thing about his dissertation. For my mining, the primary scientific outcome of this research is the study further advances the examination of disparities of China's regional development, which, unlike existing studies, provides crucial of understanding various aspects of economic, social, and technological development across different territories. And that is why I want to say thank you very much for this opportunity to discuss this very interesting dissertation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valeria Ignatyevna, for your opinion. And Larissa Ivanovna, what you say?
Thank you, Elena Mikhailovna. I will be glad to give some comments for this dissertation. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ dissertation is relevant, scientifically and practically significant to my point of view. It will undoubtedly contribute to the improvement of the theoretical, methodological, and organizational foundations of formation of mechanism of managing territorial competitive advantages. I think that all scientific achievements are real and practically oriented, and this is very important to my mind. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ proved to be a strong researcher, showed a deep understanding of the research topic with his speech and presentation of the main result, all the answers to questions and comments, the use of various scientific methods and tools to conduct an in-depth research deserves special attention from my point of view. So, dear colleagues, I will support Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ during the voting procedure for awarding him the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 073 Management. And I would like to wish to our author the success in his future research. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larissa Ivanovna, for your very positive words. And Victoria Viktorovna, would you like something add?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Elena Mikhailovna. I want to say that the analysis of Lü ЦЗЕЮY's dissertation research shows that the results obtained are theoretically and practically significant. The author has developed theoretical and methodological support tools, the recommendation for improving the system of management of competitive advantages of territories, which contain elements of scientific novelty, of course. Acquaintance with the content and structure of Lü ЦЗЕЮY's dissertation gives ground to assert the reliability of scientific provisions, conclusions, and recommendations, which is confirmed by the theoretical and methodological validity of the research result. The use of the wide range of methods of scientific knowledge, approbation, and implementation of the author's proposal. The dissertation clearly formulates the relevance of the topic, the object, the subject of analysis, the purpose, and objectives. The dissertation is an original, independent, completed work with a logically justified structure that corresponds to the object, subjects, and task. We can see that the main results of the dissertation's research are published in 9 scientific works, and in general, the content of the works fully reveal the purpose, objectives, and conclusion of the dissertation. So I support and I will vote for the award of the Doctor of Philosophy degrees. Thank you.
Thank you, Victoria Viktorovna. Sergey Vladimirovich, do you have additional information which we have to know?
Yes, okay. Thank you, Elena Mikhailovna. I want to say again that this work was prepared at a high scientific level due to its relevance, novelty, and practical significance, and author of this work deserves a Doctor of Philosophy degree. Thanks.
Thank you. Dear colleagues, as the head of the council, I also would like to share my opinion about Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ dissertation. First of all, the dissertation, of course, is devoted to the important issue related with the managing the competitive advantages of territories. We understand that today the competitiveness of territories is determined by their ability to attract investment, tourists, businesses, and talented professionals compared to other regions. And as shown in the dissertation, the development of specialized clusters can become a source of competitive advantages for the territories, ensuring cooperation between enterprises and providing mutual support and success to shared resources. As an advantage of the work, I would like to emphasize the model of dependence of gross regional product on the degree of manifestation of competitive advantages of territories. The author was able to predict the value of the gross regional product per capita of a certain region of China based on the values of the most influential indicators by the groups of competitive advantages. I also would like to note that the recommendations proposed by the author have the practical meaning for regional government and stakeholders in terms of development appropriate strategies and effective management of regional development. But like any research, the dissertation contains debatable questions. In this context, I would like to pay attention to the feasibility of development specific marketing strategies for the clusters that the author has identified. This would further increase the practical value of the work and its scientific validity. However, the mentioned remarks in no way diminish the significance of the study, and my overall conclusion: dissertation is written at the appropriate scientific level, has elements of scientific novelty, practical application, and reveals important aspects devoted to management of the competitive advantages of territories. And as a result, the author of the work, Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ, deserved to be awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 073, Management. Does anyone else want to speak? If there are no objections, I suggest ending the discussion. And now I again go to the Ukraine, but no, we forgot about our supervisor, Ksenia Valerievna. Ksenia Valerievna, do you want something add about your graduate student? A couple of words. Sorry.
Of course, it's okay. Everything okay. I wanted to add a little bit information about researcher. Like a supervisor, I enjoyed working with him, and Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ did a lot of the work and great work for his dissertation research, for his test, which named the mechanism for managing and the competitive advantages of territories. He shows himself smart, hardworking, inquisitive, and able to make independent decision in his research. And again, like a supervisor, I know that the researcher is very thorough approached their preparation and writing his test. I would like to add also the previous researchers who have been done with previous supervisor, Родченко Володимиром Борисовичем, were very important for finishing our work, and interest of several universities of Ukraine is a clear indicator of the necessity and relevance of scientific research. Lü ЦЗЕЮЙ has 4 professional publications and a section in a monograph, and that is why it's always fascinating to explore different types of the same systems in different countries. And that is why the results of the research are socially necessary, as you see. Thank you, dear colleagues, for your positive feedback for our work and for your supporting of our research.
Thank you very much, Ksenia Valerievna. Now we have full information about our graduate student, and now I switch on Ukrainian language. Нами попередньо було розроблено проект рішення спеціалізованої вченої ради, і дозвольте його зачитати. Спеціалізована вчена рада Сумського національного аграрного університету, Міністерства освіти і науки України міста Суми прийняла рішення про присудження ступеня доктора філософії в галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування на підставі прилюдного захисту дисертації Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ на тему «Механізм управління конкурентними перевагами території. Українською механізм for managing the competitive advantages for territories» за спеціальністю спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ 1993 року народження, громадянин Китайської Народної Республіки, освіта вища, закінчив у 2018 році Харківський національний університет імені Каразіна за спеціальністю економіка. Аспірантуру закінчив у 2023 році Сумський національний аграрний університет Міністерства освіти і науки України, місто Суми. Дисертацію виконано у Сумському національному аграрному університету Міністерства освіти і науки України, місто Суми. Науковий керівник Блюмська Данько Ксенія Валерівна, кандидат економічних наук, доцент кафедри маркетингу та логістики Сумського національного аграрного університету. Здобувач має 9 наукових публікацій за темою дисертації, з них 4 статті у науково-фахових виданнях України, 1 розділ колективної монографії, 4 інші публікації. Отже, шановні колеги, переходимо до важливої процедури відкритого голосування. Прошу членів спеціалізованої вченої ради проголосувати і озвучити рішення щодо присудження Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ ступеня доктора філософії зі спеціальності 073 менеджмент. Пропоную діяти за моїм прикладом. Я, Ніфатова Олена Михайлівна, голосую за присудження ступеня доктора філософії зі спеціальності 073 менеджмент Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ. Валерія Геннадівна.
Я, Щербак Валерія Геннадівна, голосую за присудження Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ ступені доктора філософії за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент.
Дякую. Лариса Іванівна.
Я, Лариса Іванівна Калачевська, голосую за присудження Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ ступеня доктора філософії за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент.
Дякую. Вікторія Вікторівна.
Я, Готра Вікторія Вікторівна, голосую за присудження Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ наукового ступеня доктора філософії за спеціальністю 073.
Дякую, Вікторія Вікторівна. І Сергій Володимирович.
Я, Козловський Сергій, голосую за присудження Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ ступеня доктора філософії за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент.
Дякую, шановні колеги, за вашу одноголосність. Тобто проти у нас немає, 5 голосів за. І на підставі результатів відкритого голосування спеціалізована вчена рада присуджує Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ ступінь доктора філософії з галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. Чи є зауваження щодо рішення спеціалізованої вченої ради?
Немає.
Так, дякую, зауважень немає. Отже, дозвольте привітати Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ з успішним захистом дисертації. Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, we congratulate you and you have a positive decision from our scientific council, and now you have opportunity to say some words for your supervisor, for your family, maybe what you want.
Thank you. I have been studying and living in Ukraine for many years. Ukraine is my second hometown, and everything here is unforgettable to me. I love Ukraine. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to my supervisor. Under his guidance, I was able to achieve success. Secondly, I also want to thank my family. They have always been my strongest support. During my academic journey, they provided me with endless care and support, allowing me to fully devote myself to my studies. Their encouragement and expectations are the driving force behind my continuous progress. Finally, I want to have high expectations for the future. The end of this doctoral stage signifies a new starting point, and I will embark on a new journey with the knowledge and the experience I have learned. I believe that in the future, I will continue to work hard, constantly improve, and strive to achieve my dreams. Thank you again to all those who have helped and supported me. Thank you.
Thank you, Лю ЦЗЕЮЙ, for your words. It is also very important for us. And now, шановні колеги, на цьому засідання спеціалізованої вченої ради вважається закритим. Дякую всім за роботу. Thank you very much for our works.
Шановні колеги, дякую за запрошення. Приємно було